Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Entertainment Expansion. We're your host Tyler Callahan and Mike Ferrante. Mike, how you doing this week, huh?
Well, Tyler, dishonor on this movie, dishonor on this director, dishonor on Disney, and dishonor on the cow.
As we
This,
start to go into fall, the weather's been getting a bit colder than usual, a little faster. Boy, did this movie heat things up. Yeah, obviously, if you don't get the reference, we're talking about the live-action Mulan. What was supposed to be a big spring movie, what was supposed to be a movie alongside with Tenet to bring back theaters, has turned out not to be a disappointment. No, 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 no. It's turned out to be just bad.
yeah,
And you know what the funny thing is, Mike?
I
No
don't
one
know
likes this.
anything about this movie.
No one likes this movie. The Chinese audience hates this movie because it's not respectful to the Mulan tale.
No,
Um,
it's
and they have great war movies. This tries to replicate that poorly. Also, American
very,
audiences don't like it because it's not even close to the original animated movie.
yeah.
So,
Um,
yeah, just where do we
I
begin?
I have many grievances.
All right, we'll start with
So
you.
let me get this out of the way first. So I understand they want to make a more realistic tale of Mulan. They said, okay, it's not going to be a musical. All right, fine. They said Mushu and the cricket aren't going to be a part of it because to be more realistic, can't have a talking dragon. Okay, fine. I get it. But in that same sentence, how are you going to have a fucking witch that can transform into people at will and into a goddamn bird and preach to me about trying to keep it more realistic?
Also, about this
You
deep
can't, you
connection to
can't,
chi that apparently only
yeah,
three characters have.
yeah, what is this, Dragon Ball Z? I'm sorry. No, you can't have it both ways. You want to
Oh,
make it realistic? That's fine. I'm okay with that. But I feel like they took everything that made the animated film Mulan a classic and threw
hmm
it all to the side and kind of said, well, fuck it, you know. I will give the movie credit where credit's due. I'm a huge fan of how there was not a single white face in that movie. Beautiful. Realistic casting is what I'm all about. And they did have good
agreed.
actors in the movie. I wouldn't say the movie is bad because of the acting or the portrayals of the character from the actors' parts. I feel like
Everything
no
around it.
dialogue was overly cheesy or anything like that, or there was just bad acting. No, not at all. I feel like that was definitely some of the movie's strong points, but I feel like the overall plot, and I get they want to shake things up, but they shook it up in a very wrong way, in my opinion.
I mean, I agree with you. I mean, when we first heard last year, this is going to be more realistic remake. No Mushu, fine. You want to be respectful of Chinese audience, I get that. Um, no songs. All right, it's fine. You add songs for Aladdin, but we'll have no songs here, and that's fine. I think what they should have done is it should have been a Chinese produced movie because clearly, um, the Hollywood style crew behind the camera trying to make a Chinese war movie did not work. I think they should have gone balls to the wall, get a full Chinese crew, Chinese director, make the movie. It's a Disney movie. That way, at least it's a hit in China, and Western audience would have, a lot like Parasite and Korean dramas, we would have been brought to a new genre of movies that we're not accustomed to.
Yeah,
Because
and that's fine.
yeah, but they didn't. They tried to Hollywood style Chinese movies that didn't go well. You still have a montage of the training, and yeah, there's like decent music in the background, but like, I mean, Make a Man
It's
Out of
no,
You is
it's
so
no,
much better.
yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, it is. It is. I mean, you have some of the most Disney classic songs come from Mulan.
yeah, and
Like you
that's all
really do.
removed. I gotta say, the chi thing, I think bothered me the more I thought about it, because the point of Mulan was a woman can do just as good as a job as a man can, and
Correct.
Mulan was the point of that. This movie confused me in that, okay, so Mulan has a deep connection, Donnie Yen has a deep connection, and The Witch. So is it only because they have a deep connection because of their hard training, or is it that they're just born with the chi, like that connection, and that makes them special? Unlike
Yeah,
unlike Mulan's rival, who was good but like not good enough.
because he didn't have that connection.
Yeah.
I feel like you're absolutely right. It kind of takes away the focus that she's able to be just as good as a man, if not better,
hmm
in a very sexist society. where women have no place to be speaking openly or defending their country. I feel like this movie takes that all off the table by saying pretty much, well, it's yeah, it is that, but it's also because she had a deep connection to her chi. Like, sorry, pal, it should be just because she's good enough.
I think is they got the sexist part right. They went through the whole wife ceremony. They went through Donnie and
Yeah,
cutting her down, like disrespect to you, your family, no honor. They did all of that part right. They just didn't get how she overcame it right.
yeah, and let me go back to that whole wife ceremony part. When she was doing the whole teapot thing, and then she catches everything with her foot, and then her hair falls, and then she falls. I literally was like, just fuck you, movie, fuck you. You want to have your cake and eat it too. Like that's just a cheap laugh that didn't need to happen.
Yeah, because I actually thought that scene was pretty good up until hair falls
Her
down
hair
and she
fell,
trips
and then
over.
she
It's like,
automatically, yeah, that threw it off. I enjoyed that scene until her hair fell down, and then
hmm
caused to be kind of like it was made for a cheap laugh, and it's like, all right, no, sorry.
and she still gets yelled at anyway. But it's like she's the only one who almost caught everything. Everyone else was screaming like maniacs, but then she gets yelled at.
Yeah, I think the original scene in the animated movie was much better.
Yeah, with her causing like in trying to stop it, caused a bunch of stuff she didn't mean to. That made a lot more sense. That showed she was careless.
Yeah, and that whole opening scene where she's a kid running around chasing the chick and breaking everything and all that, I feel like that was a little bit much. And I was like, all right, am I watching Mulan or The Matrix now?
Yeah, she's like fucking seven. She's jumping all over the buildings trying to catch that
Yeah.
chicken.
And like, okay, when did she just turn into Neo or Batman to nail this fucking landing?
Let's go to other negatives. The bad guys were weak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they were unimaginative. They were boring. Definitely, it's definitely weaker than the villains in the anime movie. Because even like him, like even the anime guy in the opening scene where they invade the Great Wall and they leave a guy alive just to say his name and give warning because he knows he can take him. Like that sets up a nice badass. This guy just he uses the witch as a crutch and only in serious situations actually takes matters into his own hand.
Yes. So another thing, you mentioned it prior with the remaster of Aladdin into live action. Now, I know we weren't the biggest fans of that, but I feel like that was way more successful than this because
Oh
at
yeah, that's
least
10 times better than this.
that stuck to the movie's roots. They added a few things. Yes, was it good? Yes, was it not? That's debatable. But at least they stuck to the roots, and it was a reimagining of the same story that we all grew up loving.
Yes, like
You know what
they
I mean?
they made changes, but like you said, like everything, it still felt like Aladdin.
Yes.
Like that was
This
a
movie
proper new take.
was this just Mulan because they said her name was Mulan and they had a basic overview of the plot and then just kind of said, "All right, let's wing it and we'll work on the fly." Like I don't know. It just didn't feel all that inspiring.
I mean, even Beauty and the Beast remake felt more inspired than this.
Yeah. I mean, I feel bad for people that were really looking forward to seeing this movie.
Oh, I mean, you can put me in that group. I was looking forward to like an all-out, war style of Mulan. Obviously, not too gritty. It's a Disney movie, but like they announced those changes. I wasn't one complaining. I was like, okay, you're gonna change it up. Let's do something fresh instead of being a
Yeah.
shot-for-shot remake.
But at the same time, when you want it to be more realistic, don't have a fucking witch in it that can transform into other people and birds.
It pissed
Like
me off more than it should
you
have
can't
that
have
they
it
never
both ways.
showed her transforming. Not once. You never see her
Yeah.
transform. And it's always a cutaway. There's always smoke. I don't know. That always annoyed me more than it should.
Yeah. I mean, I hear you. It's just
And all right, and getting into spoilers here. The thing that pissed me off about The Witch, I thought The Witch, up until the end, was a great addition to the movie. Basically, if you're going to go down the Chi route, The Witch being the opposite of Mulan, a Mulan who's grown up and resents men, resents the current structure, and does her own thing for more power, I can get behind that. And Mulan sees what she could be if she joins her. However, and also the witch was also more entertaining than the main bad guy. Her becoming good, or at least neutral, after one short conversation, and then dying 2 minutes later, shits on all that.
yeah.
You have this witch that the entire movie is shown to be almost near unbeatable. Only meets her match until Mulan, does not lie to herself anymore. No, no, one arrow from the bad guy is just well, she's dead now. She invaded bases. She took on armies. One arrow kills her, and it's not even one arrow to the head. What the fuck?
I mean, she's definitely not Boromir. I get that.
It's just I feel like if they wanted to switch things up, they should have got rid of the bad guy and have her like
Be the
have
main
her
villain.
yeah, have her kill him at the end. Like, no, I'm going to stay evil, and then do one-on-one. At least then the fight would have made more sense. And then when she died at the very end. It took a lot to kill her. Yeah, and then the ending fight was I know you saw this at the beginning of the movie when someone jumps on a building and the camera turns with them.
Yes.
Yeah, they do that a few times, at least once or twice during the final battle, and it's like it's overused. And I don't know if you saw this as well. Just the cinematography. Some shots were nice, but there are some shots, if you noticed, when they closed up on a person, it was blurry around them.
Yeah, it was a little off.
I don't know what the director's choice was in that. If that like if I was directing the movie and I did that, I would only do it to tell the audience visually that maybe they're having an inner monologue. Like if there's a voiceover when you do a shot like that, then like, oh, she's Mulan's thinking this to herself. But there's not. It's just blurry. And like visibly blurry for no reason. Like there's a lot of things weird and a lot of things wrong with this movie.
Yes, there is.
I don't know. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah.
Maybe this is why Disney put it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, well, they heavily overcharged
Oh yeah, they did.
because $30 for a rental. I'm sorry. That is, you're
Well,
gonna.
not technically you own it unless you cancel Disney Plus. Which, by the way, doesn't matter because in December it becomes free for everyone on the service anyway. So
Yeah. So wonderful.
yeah, 3-month rental.
$10 a month for a movie that you're gonna watch once. Be like, well, this sucked.
But I watched it in 4K.
Wow, that makes it so much better for me to realize this movie is not good.
You can see the clarity and the blurriness.
Yeah, that's grade A blurry. I'll tell you that.
I think overall, like I would like to think I've been one of the defendants of Disney for doing all these live action remakes. I do like the new twist on the story. I do like seeing them Disney flaunting their CGI skills with these movies. But Mulan was like, I can't defend the movie. I can't. It's like I thought Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin was good. Hell, I even thought Lion King was pretty decent. But
Yeah,
Mulan is disappointing, and it's a shame too because this could have been amazing.
I agree.
And I'm gonna be honest. I'm kind of worried about Little Mermaid.
Yeah, that's definitely a concern. They better realize that they screwed up and leave some of the musicalness to it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I feel bad for the actress they already hired, but making Ariel black, definitely a choice. But again, like if you're gonna make these choices, I'm fine with these choices. But then you need to make sure the movie's good. Like,
Yeah, that's
I better see the talking crab. Was Sebastian?
Sebastian. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
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 I better see Sebastian. Like,
Yeah, because if you say you want to make a realistic Little Mermaid, I'm gonna tell you go fuck yourself.
mm-hmm. And that's the thing too. Is like when they're telling us we want to make it realistic, that made sense. If any Disney movie should be realistic, it's Mulan. It's a war movie. Little Mermaid can't be realistic. It's a mermaid.
Yeah. Even Lion King was relatively realistic because animals definitely communicate with one another in some type of way.
Shit, that shit was more realistic than Mulan.
Yeah.
No animals transformed. They grew into adults,
No.
and that was it.
Yep. But Mulan, we're just gonna stop it right there because I'm just gonna keep going in circles here.
This episode is just us raging.
Yeah, we're sorry about this, but it's I'm gonna spoiler alert. This is not a movie that I'm gonna recommend.
No, I can't recommend it either. I mean, if you are from China, I hear they are doing their own take on Mulan on a movie that's coming out this year. I would recommend watching that instead. Haven't seen it yet. If you're part of the Western audience of the podcast, rewatch the animated version. It still holds up. It's still great.
Yeah.
Save your $30.
Yeah.
If you got Disney Plus, it's already on there. Just watch that instead. But no, I mean, I think we have every right to be disappointed. I mean, we've been waiting for brand new movies to come out, and it was supposed to be the combo of Tenet and Mulan. Tenant is only in some states in America, and Mulan not good.
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
definitely a shame.
And when we're recording this, Disney just pushed back all their Marvel movies again. So hope you're looking forward to watching Black Widow next May.
Yep.
Well, I also think they haven't talked about numbers for Mulan in about ever, and the movie's been out for almost 3 weeks. Since
Yeah, I
they
don't think
pushed,
they're going to.
I don't think they're going to. You don't push Black Widow now a year since its original date, unless because here's the thing: if they made 300 million on Disney Plus numbers for this, they would have released Black Widow on Disney Plus. They would not give a shit.
Yeah.
But the fact that they pushed it back not to February, that was the rumored date, but all the way to May. Ooh boy, I want to look at these numbers because even in China it bombed.
Yeah, it's definitely a movie that strayed too far from its roots, not
Mm.
in a good way.
Yeah,
And like I said, it brought dishonor. And they cut that line up from the movie. They did.
I mean,
They
with
did.
with everything else cut out, are you surprised?
Well, because they included it. Dishonor on your family, dishonor on your town. 'Cause that's Mushu's line. And then he says dishonor on your cow. Well,
You know,
man.
I think Donnie Yen saying dishonor on your cow is a bit too far, though.
Well, it was the first time it was said. It was from the lady that was trying to make her wife
Yeah.
material.
Well,
But yeah.
I mean, if anyone else has wonderful thoughts about Mulan, where could they let us know?
Well, as always, we are looking forward to your thoughts. If you think we are dead wrong, please tell us and be very specific because we would like to know if we are completely wrong. If you agree with us, feel free to vent with us. As always, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, all under the surname of Entertainment Expansion. We look forward to hearing from you. As always, have a great day.